here's what happened. She's been completely exonerated of the murder charges that related to her roommate. So that piece is over. But this defamation piece, this is a little different under Italian law than in the United States because it can be charged criminally. In the United States, it's civil only. So she was charged with defamation for saying that this bar owner was involved in the murder. Her defense to that was that she was under duress. She said that during listen to this, 53-hour interrogation, which she said included physical abuse. She was so exhausted and that she didn't really speak the language and she did not have an interpreter nor a lawyer during that time. She recanted shortly after, but she was ultimately convicted of defamation and sentenced to 3 years.
Absolutely. So first of all, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how a court found that an 1864 law supersedes a 2022 law regarding abortion. But I've read, reading through the decision and I've read the court's rationale. But to flip to what you're speaking about, 14 days for complete upheaval of the medical industry, of any woman who is having any kind of treatment or was seeking treatment, that's not too much time. And to your point about what does it mean to save the life of a mother, you nailed it. It has not been clear what that means from the legal perspective, as there's been confusion between which law applies in the state of Arizona, which was the precipice for this case.
So the judge could make a determination that the sentences are different. Now, my gut is telling me that they are likely to be the same. However, in the pre-sentencing memos, both sides submit these memorandums. The prosecution was very focused on a jailhouse phone call that James Crumbly made, which, remember, when we were covering the trial, John, we didn't know what the content of that call was. So the prosecutors are saying that that was actually a threat to prosecutors. Now, of course, defense, they're countering that, saying this is just him with a grievance and he's allowed to not like what the prosecutors are doing. That's his right. But that's certainly something that we're going to see prosecutors focus on with respect to James Crumbly. Could that enhance a sentence? I don't think that's going to move the needle for the judge. I anticipate they will be the same.
So there's a gag order right now. So there hasn't been a lot of information released about the specifics or the breakdown of the jury. We might learn that as the week goes on. But as of now, we just know that they're finally at the moment to begin trial on Wednesday.
Marty, in every state, it's going to be different. And the rules are going to be largely dependent on the jurisdiction. And that can be not only state, that can be different localities within the state. It could be cities, it could be counties. And so it's really a legal patchwork of a whole different host of laws. Now, in many, many jurisdictions, there are requirements that if a squatter is occupying a property, it has to be open, conspicuous, that they have to actually be paying property taxes in order to gain rights. And in some jurisdictions, that could be like 10 years down the road. In other jurisdictions, for instance, New York, where I'm a New York attorney, there could be potential for tenants' rights or rights of a person in a property in 30 days.
Right, so this is a civil lawsuit. So in a complaint, those are just allegations, but let's talk about what she claims exists. Number one, the audio recordings. Of course, that's going to be corroborative evidence of the allegations. Number two, this individual who walked in and actually was able to break up the assault. That's going to be a critical witness. Number three, she claims that she actually reported this to the yacht master at the time. So to the extent some sort of record exists, that will help corroborate those claims. Now, look, that all needs to be proven. We don't know where that goes yet, but if that evidence exists, something that is corroborative at the time of the incident is the strongest evidence in a civil case.
Yeah, Jesse, so we actually covered, as the verdict was coming out, we covered that together, and we talked about the fact that Ruby Frankie actually spoke in the courtroom, and my position was, she's faking it. She's now saying she's expressing contrition. Jody Hildebrand, oh, she was the mastermind, and I was a follower, and I was manipulated. To me, I thought that was strategy, because there is this range in Utah. Utah has a unique law when it comes to sentencing, that she will get a review by the parole board. And to me, that statement was building a record to shift accountability. Now, all of this that we've seen since, tough to get around this.